Ding dong. Hi,
Hey,
Amanda.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right. We had a
Yeah?
talk in bed last night. We had a big thunderstorm, and
Oh.
he's like between us, like a little kid shivering for time.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You'll probably sleep today.
yeah. No, it was cute. I mean, we're used to one to three animals in the bed at the time, so this is just the big guy,
Yeah, that was the big one. Yeah. Emma's terrified of thunderstorms too.
right? I've done a lot of different things, and you can quiet it, but I can't help, haven't been able to help him release it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just, it's just part of her life. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
She's on the phone. I can see she's talking. Whoever it is, tell them to come.
It's Donna. She's not coming.
Oh, Miss Donna.
She's well. She's
Good.
grumpy this morning. She's like, I feel really out of sorts and grumpy. I'm like,
Well,
anyway,
that's too bad.
she's good though. She's doing well. Thank
So
you.
you cheered her up.
We've got all different colors of spring here.
Me too.
I'm wearing my flamingo shirt in honor of our animal communicator.
Oh, look at you. I'm wearing cat hair.
That's my joke. I bring my cats with me everywhere. Just, here's the hair.
All the love right there,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way it works. I see Laura's here with her hashtag.
That's hilarious.
Can you guys hear me?
Hashtag.
Can't see you, Laura.
Okay, but hold on.
I did invite a few people, but I don't know if they're coming.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting them.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, I talked to my BNI group and sent it out in my email, everything. So
We'll see. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I detach from the outcome.
Amen.
I think a couple of people wanted to come, but they have young kids. They've got to get off to school, and it's like prime get off to school time.
It is prime get off to school time. Yes, I've had a few mothers who wanted to come. They say, "Can you just later?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know."
Yeah.
Because if
The
I do
beautiful
it
thing
later,
is when you host, you get to decide.
I get the host, and then I'm like, well, then, maybe I don't want to work at 11:30 on a Friday.
That's nap time.
Yeah, I'm like, if I want to go somewhere. So I have to decide on that one yet.
Yeah.
Laura, we still can't see you, by the way.
Oh, I know. I did a rollout this morning, so I'm not visually pleasing right now.
You're not visually pleasing. How is that even possible, Ocean?
I like that. I care.
You did a rollout, meaning your hair?
No, like I just rolled out of bed, and I just went into life this morning and just didn't.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
You're envisioning you like with big hair or something. You're trying to get.
Yeah, I do. I probably do have big hair.
Well, you do. Yeah. Well, you've got curly hair, so it can.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can get quite big.
Oh my gosh, the summers here kill me. Like sometimes I don't know what to do with it. But
This is my solution.
They're there.
Same here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went and got my hair cut on Wednesday, and she did something a little different, but she made it like not symmetrical. And I woke up yesterday morning like, oh, this will not do. I can't do non-symmetry. I mean, I can do some of it like this, but not like the long, and this side was short. And I'm like, so I called her. I said, I really need you to, even this up.
Aw.
I wouldn't like that either. I had someone do that to me with a bob, this, and I was back the next day. And I'm like, he goes, but that's the style. I'm like, I don't care. You don't understand. I'm constantly compensating for it. So I'm like, turning my head.
I do that anyway. That's how I understand.
That's how it's
Funny.
Like your dog.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. If anybody joins us, we'll welcome them as we go. We like to keep our schedule.
Right.
Hot coffee date after this. So
Ooh.
they're excited.
Ooh.
With Deb Kelly, who Laura knows.
Oh, really? Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, that'll be nice to see her. So welcome to Virtual Networkers, and I'm so glad you all are here. Thank you for coming early in the morning with us. And before I get started, I want to thank Debbie for hosting last week's. Apparently she needs to host it more often because I heard we had like standing room only.
I think it was the medium that was the attraction, my dear. Which is all you. You got her. That was good. That was good.
You just never know. She did share with her tribe, and I know she had her mom. I was listening to the recording. Her mom was there, and so she had people supporting her, which was really young.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it was fun. So thank you for doing it. It was in good hands as I was finishing up the Star Wars 5K, dragging my husband across the finish line. I want my medal. So we had a good time. And so today we're going to do this. Start with our elevator speeches, and then we'll go into our guest presenter, who's Mary Beth.
Yep.
And I still can't wait to hear Mary Beth's stories. And then we'll go around and do our announcements. I do ask for attendance purposes, if you could open your chat box and put your email and your first and last name in there so that I know who's here. And I also will make sure to send a recording of this meeting to you. So Mary Beth, you're welcome to share that with your tribe.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. I know Megan did that. I'm like, that's great. Great promotion for us as well. And for you, it's a win-win. So I'm glad that we can do that. So let's do our elevator speeches. And I'm going to start with my screen from left to right. So Mary Beth, you're up first.
Okay, so I'm an animal communicator. I use intuition. Some people call it pet psychic. I found that I have the ability to tune into people's animals and help you have a two-way conversation with them. And strangely enough, people who have reasons to want to talk to their animals, various behavioral issues, emotional issues, and even physical stuff. So I work with people who love their pets as much as or more than the humans in their lives. Here I go, DuckerSacredGrove.com.
I love that. That's awesome. Deborah Keevan.
I'm Deborah Keevan of DeborahKeevan.com. I help visionary entrepreneurs own their stories and share them in the world to help them magnetically attract their ideal clients and repel the ones they aren't meant to work with.
Yes. Goodbye. Lovingly.
Au revoir.
Laura Shipman.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Shipman and I am a social media manager. And today I just wanted to share that I interviewed, I think somebody you guys all know, Katie Mazzacco.
Yeah.
Last podcast, and we actually did an hour and a half interview, which was really cool. And we broke it up into 3 segments. So it's on my podcast if you want to listen. She's a really neat lady. I liked her a lot. She was awesome. So
Yes. I know Debbie has actually worked with her. Mary Beth, have you worked with Katie?
I have not.
I haven't either. Of course, I know her very well. Been on her for years, but she's a real talent. And her claim to fame is to save you 2 hours a day, I believe, isn't it?
No, that hasn't happened because it's mostly my learning curve.
Well, I'm glad you guys were able to interview Laura. I think she already muted.
Did she?
She's still hung out of bed.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
I can't hear you, Laura.
Very little.
Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, that's weird.
Yes.
Okay. I was away from my laptop a little bit. But yeah, no, she was a lot of fun. So it was good.
Good. Yay. Well, I'm Jill Celeste. I am a marketing coach, and I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs learn everything they need to know about marketing so they can become the director of marketing for their business. Because when you're the director of marketing for your business, you put your marketing tasks first, which enables you to attract more clients and earn more money. And I'm very glad to be here as the chapter president for Keep It Local Chapter 600. And just a reminder, we have another chapter facilitated by Jennifer Flynn, who I think a couple of you know, that meets on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you can always find that information on the Keep It Local website. I think, Mary Beth, you are going to be our guest speaker of hers sometime in the future. So that's good. You can check it out if you want to check it out before then. She's got a different crowd over there. And Debbie, you're always welcome to go check it out as well. I have not had a chance to get back there since the first 2 meetings, but I know she's humming along. So that's it's Jennifer. Of course, she's going to be a success. So just a reminder about that as well. So we're going to move into our guest speaker portion of our presentation today, and I'm going to just read Mary Beth's introduction, although I know a lot of us know her, but I think she's still kind of new to Laura. So I'll go ahead and read Mary Beth's bio. So Mary Beth Decker from sacredgrove.com tunes in to animals so people can have two-way conversation with their pets. People often see improvements in their animals' behavior and their relationships after working with Mary Beth. She also helps animals transition peacefully at the end of their lives. And you read more about her work with endings in her Amazon bestseller, Peace in Passing, which has a beautiful cover, by the way. So Mary Beth, do you have slides, or are you just going to?
I do. I love doing slides. So
do you know how to share the screen?
We'll find out. I have done it before. Can I do it again? All right, there's the share screen. There's my slides. Share screen.
Yay!
Hey, heck. All right, let's see if we can get this going. Okay. Everybody can see it?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to tell some incredible animal communication stories. I'm hoping all four of us are animal lovers, and this will be an enjoyable time for you. What I'm telling the stories for are one, for entertainment, but two, I think when we start to see animals in a different way, I think it opens up the possibility for a deeper relationship with our own animals. And that, for me, is part of my mission, is that we really we start to have a very special relationship with animals in this world. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, sacredgrove.com. You've heard a little bit. Thank you so much, Jill, for what I do. I also do energy healing, which seems to be a very good connection, because this combination of communication and healing. So if there's an issue and it's emotional, we can start to release it. If it's physical, we can do some healing for it. So I've found that's a hugely neat combination. I work remotely, so it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what your pet is doing. They don't have to stare me in the eyes. I mean, it's just so funny. People think I'm hypnotizing them. I'm not. So I don't need that physical connection. All right, so let's get into some information about my animals. I'd be a weird animal communicator if I didn't have any animals. So Charlie and I have 5, and tried animation this time, you guys. So there's Shadow. Shadow is 8 months old now. Charlie got her while I was in California. I literally got a text that said, I went to Petco to buy cat food and came home with a kitten. I'm like, what? But subsequently, Shadow ended up, she kind of showed up in my dreams. Like she was on the set of a stage, like, what the heck's going on here, Mom? So I knew she was supposed to be part of the family. Then we have Mac, and that's what this is one of my favorite pictures with Mac. I got my Mother's Day flowers a few years ago, and Mac was sure they were his. So he's like, aren't I lovely? And then we have little Stella over here. Stella is, she's the manager of the family. She makes sure everybody behaves themselves, even to the point to barking at me when Charlie calls me for dinner. She's like, get off your butt and get downstairs. It's time to go, Mom. And then we have Bunny, my little kitty. Bunny was named Brick. She is a hard ass. We're trying to find the softer side, so she agreed that we change her name to Bunny and try to bring out her lovely, gentle side. And last one is Tibor, my rescue dog. He loves this thing, and he's happy, and the cats are not allowed to sleep in there. That's verboten. So there we go. So how did I become an animal communicator? It started with Tibor, actually. Let me say it this way, maybe more accurately. When I became a Reiki master, my dog started communicating with me. But life was happening. My kids were at home, high school, middle school, that craziness. And it was like, wow, that's great. Moving right along. I get Tibor, and he's a rescue boy. He He had a lot of scars. His teeth are broken. There's a spot right here that still hasn't, the hair has never grown back. And he's about 7 years old now. And I used to see something like this picture, although the guy wasn't smiling. Every time I would sit next to Tibor on the couch, I would see the guy with his arm out and a German Shepherd coming and biting his arm. And I thought, I have got to figure out what's going on here. And that's when I started getting training. So you can thank Tibor for bringing me into the animal communication world and doing it on purpose. And I really love it because when you work with people who love their animals, you see them with their hearts open. And it's really a good place to work with people. That's all I can say. So I think it's time to do a few stories. So, getting right into it. So the shingles virus. There was a while where they weren't sure where they were going to classify the shingles virus as something alive, and they have, so I'm classifying it as an animal. My mother-in-law had a shingles attack, and I was doing energy healing at the time, and I just went all out, and I went attacking it. I asked the immune system to go in and just kick the shingles virus right out of my mother-in-law's body. Hardcore energy healing. So next day I asked her, well, how'd it go? And she goes, worst night of my life, Mary Beth. I'm like, oh, that didn't work. So I tried something different. So it's a picture you have in front of you. I pictured I was going to have an ice cream social outside under a tree, and I invited the shingles virus and the immune system, Pat's immune system. And I said, obviously, shingles virus, you're not going anywhere. How about you quiet down? Because the longer your host is happy, as long as Pat's body is happy, the longer you have a home. And immune system, if you could just quiet down and pull back and just let it lay. And she didn't have another shingles virus attack for the rest of her life. And so my moral of the story is you can negotiate with viruses, or at least in this case, I could. So these are two of my dogs. Eddie is here with my son, Pat. Pat is now 30 years old, so this is an old picture. As you can tell, this is Mitsubishi. They were buddies. And Mitsubishi was watching me do energy healing on Eddie when Eddie was really sick. And Eddie passed anyway. Yeah. And so it was really hard. But I went on and continued to do energy healing. And there was a point where Mitsubishi's rear hips were getting kind of, you know how they do, dogs get problems with that stuff. So I started doing some healing on his rear hips, and I'm on the couch doing it, and I'm going to tell it the way I heard it, maybe because I'm retired Navy, is he turns around and he looks at me and he says, don't try that shit on me. It killed Eddie. And he jumps off the couch and walks away. And I'm like, ooh. So what I learned was animals do watch what we're doing. They're observant, and sometimes they make the wrong assumptions. So we talked about it, and he later let me do energy healing. But we don't think they're listening. But I'm here to tell you, mine are very much in tune with what's going on. So this is Chatsworth. Chatsworth, this is my girlfriend Debbie up in Buffalo in Chatsworth. Chatsworth was sick, and I connected with him. And this is my lovely drawing of Chatsworth. So because it's Buffalo, there's snow involved. So I asked him how he's doing, and he showed me on a toboggan, as you can see. And he's got his jaunty little scarf in the behind. And he's just sliding down that hill, and he's enjoying himself. And I didn't really know what it meant. So he was telling me how he's feeling. And as he got worse, I called Debbie and said, he just told me when we saw this vision that he was going downhill fast physically, and he was excited about it. And that bit of information made it so much easier for Debbie as it became the end of life, that she wasn't putting him down against his will, and there was no guilt necessary. So that was such a lovely little gift he gave her. And then he talked about his death. He said he didn't want to die alone. And that was important because it was just Debbie and Chaz, and Debbie worked during the day. So Debbie knew that when it came time, she should be with him and take him into the vet, not just wait for something to happen. And he wanted her to do that. And that's what she did. And then we even connected with him after he died. And now I'm here in Alexandria, so I have no way of knowing this. And he tells Debbie she's becoming a bit of a hoarder. Like, I don't even want to tell her this, Jasper. But she had moved into her dad and mom's house, and there was just lots of stuff there. And he said, you need to make the house your own. So he was an all-around good guy. All righty. He's a wonderful guy. Now, this was Domino. I was out at the Gibbon Conservatory in Southern California, working to connect to wild animals. And Domino was a family man. Gibbons are monogamous. I'm going to call them husband and wife. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but that's what it felt like. Husband and wife, got 3 kids. One of them's a teenager. And I get to connect in with Domino. He's this guy down here. And I feel anger. Like, what's he angry about? Angry towards his wife. What is he angry about? The teenage girl was acting up, and the husband and wife disagreed about how to deal with her. And the wife prevailed, and Domino was pissed. Now, what was interesting about that is that's very similar to something that happened in my own life when my daughter was a teenager. And I'm like, what do you mean? Gibbons have teenager issues? Yes, they do. So the difference between me and the rest of the animal world just got a little smaller. And I'm hoping it does for you, is that you look at animals in a little bit different way. And those teenage problems, they worked out, but it was a real issue. So that was it. That was great. And this is little baby Howard, by the way. So just wanted to show you that. So the Gibbon Conservation Center, you can go check him out and learn about gibbons. And then Cinder is better. She was a rescue dog. She was very aggressive toward people and other animals. She'd go to the fence and she'd just bark her head off to scare people and animals. And she got a little bit better. And Renee, her guardian, had her in my Fur Buddy Healing Circle, which is something I do monthly, just as a checkup. And I asked Cinder, how she was doing. And I laughed so hard because she said, Mary Beth, I'm still living the thug life. Like, what? So I told Renee this, and she says, yeah, she's still getting a kick out of scaring the heck out of other dogs. She's good with people, but she still has a tendency to mess with dogs. So that's Cinder. All right, I got one more for you. So this is a little dog I connected with, Star, and her people wanted to know if she was upset that they were going to Paris for 2 weeks. And so I connect with Star, and I see a cartoon character kind of vision. So picture Star standing up full size like you did when I watched cartoons. So the doggy's doing this. The husband and wife got their bags packed. They're at the door. They got the old type clothes on. She's got a hat on, and Star is pushing them out the door. And I said, clearly, it is okay for you to go to Paris. So we found out that actually it was the wife that was nervous about going to Paris. Star wasn't like she wasn't going to miss them, but they were bringing over her favorite dog sitter, and the dog sitter's dog, who was also her favorite. So she's like, hey, I'm on vacation too. You go. So those are my stories. And I'm open to, I don't know if we have time, but if we have any questions, I'd love to answer any questions.
Oh, I love your stories, Mary Beth.
Thank you.
Yes. The one with the thug life, that was pretty funny.
Right?
And I have to say, you have met my Emma in Fort Lauderdale it was a year and a half ago. And I don't know if Debbie even knows this, but maybe so, that Emma was on our second bout with cancer, and she had pancreatitis. And so I brought her with me to Fort Lauderdale because I didn't want to leave her alone. And I brought her into, I don't know, what were we doing first? The meeting or mindset, whatever, it doesn't matter.
It was the meeting.
And I brought her down, and she immediately she loves people, but she immediately ran to Mary Beth, immediately beeline, like ignored everyone else. And she got on her back, and you rubbed her belly, and you were sending her some healing. And and she hasn't been sick since.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's wonderful. You wish to, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just say thank you for everybody.
I attribute that to you. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And so she's here snoring next to me. But, I'm so glad I brought her to Fort Lauderdale, because not only did she get a chance to meet you, but it was also very healing for her. And you told me that later. I don't know if you remember. You made the right decision bringing her here, because she got to be around people and she got to feel everyone's love. And
I can remember that, yeah.
Cured her of what was ailing her at the time, but she has not had any, and she's now lived past her life expectancy. She was only supposed to be around 2 years after the first bout, and it's almost like 1 month away. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. So because she got sick when my dad died, which I think was symbolic too. So so thank you.
Yeah. There's another dog I work with, little dog Rudy, and when I first met Rudy, he was coming to the end of his 6 months to live, and I looked at his life force, and I said, I got to tell you, this guy's full of life, and it was the first time I'd done a session with his mom. She told me later, it was like, oh my God, this woman is crazy. Years later, he's still around. Oh, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
It is what we guess as practitioners, right? Vets just guess, and sometimes.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Too, right? We defy the expectations. So Emma's got some more work to do on this planet, in this form. That's how I always look at it. So yeah, I know Debbie's had experience with you too.
Yeah, Princess Leia has never been the same since, but in such a great way. I pack in front of her. I used to have to pack in private. And she uses the litter box, and she was so she was not happy that I was going away. So, but she's
cool with it.
She's such a love bug.
Laura, I know you have animals.
Yeah, I have 2 Shih Tzus, and it was funny because last week when we were on the call, my one was just like scratching at me to get up in my lap, and he couldn't get close enough to the computer, and then he actually ended up on my desk. And I think during the meeting, Mary Beth, I said something, and I was like, it was really strange, and that was before I knew what you did, and he was just couldn't be close enough.
Oh,
yeah, so it was really kind of strange.
I noticed that when I was watching the replay, there were several animals making appearances. Megan's cat was kind of aggressive about getting in front of the screen. I saw Laura's, and I saw and someone else had a cat floating around in the background. I'm like, oh, that's the Mary Beth effect. They're all
I think I even commented, like, all these animals are showing up.
Yeah.
I wonder what the Shih Tzu wanted you to know, Laura.
I don't know, but like, we're having trouble with him because, not that we're having trouble with him, he's going blind a little bit, and I'm just like really worried about him. Because I've noticed it in the last couple of months, he's gotten worse, and where he can't tell where the sliding door starts and where it ends, that kind of stuff. Like, he just can't see. So it's kind of sad a little bit. But I also believe that, I think, well, you know this, Jill, but I have multiple sclerosis, and I notice he acts differently when I'm about to have a flare up, and he'll know first before I do. And I swear, and for a couple of years, he spent a couple of years in bed with me, and I think that he's kind of in tune to that a little bit. So
I've met dogs who actually that's what they do for their people is let them know something's going to happen so they can prepare.
Yep. And I noticed it like about a couple of months ago. He was just, about a couple months, like 6 months ago, he was just clinging to my ankles and just wouldn't let me go anywhere alone. I'm like, what is going on with you? And then a couple of days later, I was in the car with my husband. I said, I think I'm having a little bit of a flare up. And I just, I was getting numb and I was really like fatigued. And then I thought back to Max and I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's what he was trying to like tell me, like slow down. Yeah. So.
Yeah, literally like trying to stop you from.
Right. Isn't that interesting?
Very physical.
Yeah. It's wild.
Well, now you know, Laura.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So Mary Beth, is that something that you'll do? Is like you'll talk to the dogs to find out what they're trying to tell?
Yeah,
They're human?
absolutely. And the other nice side effect is it's sometimes out of a session, you'll find that you're just more in tune with each other. So you'll pick things up faster than you did before. I think it's just, I think what I do is I open up the connection for you and the dog or the animal just a tiny bit. And people, so yeah, I do. I tell you what the dog's thinking or wanting to tell you or the feelings that come through really well. And then you can have a conversation about either reassurance or explanation or how to make things better for both of you, wherever the conversation goes. Yeah.
So Mary Beth, tell us a little bit about what a typical session is for you. Like if you could, because all of us are always looking for referrals for you, and some people may again have that misconception about the hands-on piece, which I know you mentioned. But if you could just talk about a typical session.
Okay. All right. So I do full sessions of 50 minutes and short sessions for 25 minutes. And so I'm going to talk about the full session. In all cases, I ask for a picture of the animal ahead of time. And I look at the picture and sit quietly with it, and I get some information from the picture. I also use the picture to connect to the animal and just say, I'm going to be talking to you soon. I'm Mary Beth. Then when we get in, I give a few ground rules about how I work and what it's like to work with me. Because there's quiet times while I connect with the animal. And I see things symbolically a lot. So I share what I'm getting. I usually say a little bit about how the animal's essence comes through, like what kind, if you want to describe the personality, how is the animal showing themselves? What do they think about themselves? And then we get into what would you like to know? What's on top of mind about why we're here together, and we'd start the discussion. And from there, if it's physical, I can do a body scan, which is I sit quietly, and sometimes the information comes into my body. I feel where things are bothering the animal. I don't do diagnosis. If it's emotional, we talk about what's the trigger, what's going on, and they have a back and forth about. I see it as a family thing. So as a family, what can we do differently? What can we reassure the animal? And I'll even do some energy healing for the emotional stuff. So there's maybe anxiety or anger, fear, rescue animals don't know how to let go of the trauma of the past, so we help the trauma go, that kind of thing. And then, so we do physical, emotional discussions. We go through that. And in the long session, I also do a meditation that I learned to connect to animals, and I do that with people. And that is the one that I think that really helps open up the communication, and that's also a bonus to doing the longer one. I think that pretty much covers, unless you have some specific questions.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Because everyone enjoyed your benefit in a meeting, so never in a real setting.
That's right.
And the interesting thing is that you can schedule something with Mary Beth and think that you know what's coming out. And in my case, what was troubling my cat was something that I wasn't even on my periphery or radar. And Mary Beth called her by a name that only my ex-husband called her.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was just, it was astounding. I mean, it was astounding. And the symbolism Mary Beth talked about, once she understood, Princess Leia was in the litter box kicking him out.
She had trauma too. Interesting.
She did have trauma. She thought that because he loved her, it would be enough for him to be nice to me and to stay.
They did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really something.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and once she got that he was nasty to you, she was like,
Yeah, you're out.
I love cats. Oh God, that's so funny.
So Mary Beth,
Your litter box. There you go. That's awesome. And so you've also, I know you've done other animals. So I know a lot of people probably associate you with pets, but you also, Mary Beth, have done farm animals. I know you've done caterpillars. So it's really, there's any animal.
My nephew asked me to read his caterpillar, and we got her. I got her a better life.
Good.
More roots and leaves and twigs and stuff. She was so bored. She was pushing her poop around, and she's like, she wanted more.
This is more to life than pushing my poop around.
that is funny. Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you heard this story. Jen Klein Clark, who Laura, you don't know, but the other two, I told her to call you, Mary Beth, because she was in her office. So she's been struggling with what to do, what direction to take. And we've been masterminding about it. And the other day she was in her office, and from the ceiling of her office, a snake fell right next to her.
Oh my God.
And so the symbolism, I of course look up my animal speak thing and the symbolism, but then I'm like, you need to talk to Mary Beth. Where the hell did the snake go? Is it still in your house? I would not. I'd be living in a hotel until I knew where that snake was.
Oh my God.
It slithered away. And I'm like, they can get all kinds of weird places, Mary. But I need to call Mary Beth. I'm like, yes, you do.
And I know she had it called an exterminator.
Yeah, he couldn't find it. I'm like, but those snakes are sneaky.
Yeah, we have snakes in the house all the time in Florida. It's just the black racers come in and you need par for the course because they're not venomous. But
doesn't matter.
There's a guy in our community. Everybody knows him, Chris Wirt. His job is to go get the snakes, and he's very gentle and very humane. He does not kill any snake, whether it's poisonous or non-poisonous. And he tells a story. It's like he makes a story up. I don't think he's intuitive, but he's got this snake was looking for love in all the wrong places, And do you know him, Laura? Chris Wirt?
No.
Oh,
Is he?
He's in the Trinity chat all the time.
Oh, really? No. Oh, I gotta look at him and see what that's all
I
about.
forget the name of his business, but that's what he does. He goes and gets critters.
He's a snake charmer.
He's like a snake guy. And so every time, someone pick me in the driveway and they'll take a picture of their snake. What kind of snake is this? And he'll answer it, and it's usually a black racer because that's most snakes are black racers, right?
Those things are huge.
They're long and skinny and they're completely harmless. But then he always explains, why they're good, which is what I like about it because I don't want anybody to kill a snake unless it's threatening you, right? But he does what he does. He goes and captures raccoons and things in the chimney.
We get a lot of gators in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's again Floridian. All my life I've had gators around me. I don't even think about them. I just they're over there and I'm over here. They're not going to bother me unless someone's been feeding them.
Okay.
People feed the gators?
Yes, they think that's fun. And then what that does is that you just made a human a food source. So guess what the gator's going to do?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
That's why that kid died in Disney. The people feed the gators.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was awful.
That was very awful. Yeah. So, and then they go kill all the gators to find the one that, and I hate that whole thing. I'm like, there's a reason why they're alligators.
Right. They're animals. They've got animal instincts.
They do. They're part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
So
gosh.
my little Shih Tzu, he's in my lap again.
He wants to talk to you. You should contact Mary Beth.
What's his name? What's his name?
Max?
Max? Max. Hey, Max. I just
Oh.
want to say hi. How are you, Max?
Oh my gosh, he's looking right at you.
He's intrigued. He's like, whoa, what is up with her? I don't know. I just do this, Max.
Hi, Max.
Hey, Max. Oh, you are cute.
Yeah, he needed to see us.
Yeah, he loves his Laura.
He's my baby.
Aww.
Loves his Laura.
You know, when I'm gonna probably call you for my mom's dog because she has got like so much anxiety and she's just like any male, and she's not a rescue or anything. We've had her since my mom's had her since she was little. If we go to kiss my mom goodbye or something like that, she just lashes out and just barks and like tries to snap and stuff. And it's just, and she's very anxious. Like, I don't know what it is that causes her. But I told my mom, I said, I told her about you. And I said, I should really bring Cassie with me for tomorrow morning's meeting. I don't know, she might have been a whole disruptor. So I might have to get with you later because I always say, and she loves me, like Cassie and I, for some reason, are highly connected. But yeah, so I'm going to have to call you and have Cassie with me someday.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has she been acting that way since your mom's been sick?
No, this has always been like that.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
She was nervous about mom being in the hospital.
No, she's always just been a nervous dog. She's a toy schnauzer, so if she's 5 pounds, that's a lot.
That's so cute. I got guinea pigs bigger than that. No, I didn't. Not 5 or 5 pounds, but
That's funny.
right about the same size.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don was pretty big.
Don Piglioni.
I know, he's so cute. That's funny.
Love that name.
No. I don't know, Mary Beth. There's also a congregation of birds out here. I don't know. There's something to you.
It seems like
The spoonbills arrived, the crane, and I think I saw the ducks.
I
So
love that.
That is so cool.
Who knows? Yeah, I was talking to Heather Morrow down in Southern California. A bunch of parents stopped by while we were doing a session. It was
oh my gosh.
like nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
You help her with her dog? Heather's dog?
Yeah, Finn and Buddy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Awesome. What's the most unusual pet you've treated?
I think, well, I would say Hiccup, the miniature mule, is because I didn't know there were miniature mules. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. What do I know? Miniature mule, darling thing. Looks like a little, not a pony. Looks like a horse made small. There's a miniature donkey rescue up in Maryland. I'm in Virginia, so it's up in Maryland. And he came to them. He didn't like people. He didn't trust them. So they had him for 6 months, and he had a respiratory infection, and he needed to get his hooves done. Like they're a very gentle group of people. They don't force stuff. It's like, no, that's not what we do here. So I connected with him to teach him to discern between, bad people and good people. Like, not everybody's in the bad side. There's some good people too, and that he fell in with some really good people. And if he let them give him his medicine, then his breathing would start to feel better, and he'd feel good and happy, and then trusting, and that he'd like that. So, and also let him do his hooves. And after a couple of sessions, he let them give him the medicine.
Good.
And I think that's the one that sticks out for me because he's so cute. And then I got to meet miniature donkeys, and they're like dogs, only they're big, But you can grab them and hug them, and they.
I think I want one.
I know.
Can they snuggle up to you on the couch?
If it's a big one, I think really big. They are so cute. Yeah, and they're looking to. People do take them as you have to have at least two because they're cuddle bugs. People don't spend the time to fix them, right? And so also there's too many and they can't take care of them. So who knew? But miniature donkeys need rescue. Not taken care of. I think that was my best.
That's fun.
I
Farm
love
animals.
that guy.
Laura, did you have a question? I think I interrupted you.
Okay. So we have, I'm wondering like if you can do something with a dog that I don't know. Like our neighbor's dog in an adjoining fence line, he comes out their back door barking and just like really aggressive and throws his body against our fence. And then our dogs go crazy. And our dogs are non-barkers. Like they just don't bark. And this one dog will just get them started. And I was just wondering, like, can you do a reading on a dog that you don't know and how, like, maybe my two dogs, Max and Tatsu, can, like, calm their jets a little bit when that dog comes out like a screaming maniac?
Yeah, that's really good question. I've been taught, and I do feel it's true that I can work with your dogs,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't work with other dogs without the permission of their guardian or their owner. And it's like saying, my next door neighbor's kids are acting up. Can you go over and tell them how to start behaving themselves?
Good point.
Like, well, I better talk to their parents first. So it's that kind of a permission, and spiritually, those permissions are just as important as they are in the physical world. Certainly, we could. I mean, there's always the thing of saying you start talking, and you could start talking to your dog, saying, "Oh, there's Buddy being Buddy. Oh my golly, there he goes again." And talking to Buddy and saying, "Oh, there you are, Buddy. Hello, how are you?"
Uh-huh.
I do it in a lot. So, because we have my own dog's a barker,
Mm-hmm.
so I treat it as what's going on. I have conversations with her. If you don't feel crazy, you could start conversing with the dog and saying, "Hey, how are you today? I see that you're all revved up and no, not needed. We're glad to be your neighbor." And this is what I would do, especially if I didn't have permission. I would start communicating directly with the dog as if they understood me, and do it with love and just a little bit of, how would you say, just tolerance. Like if you were, working with a kid next door who wasn't didn't have a perfect behavior all the time.
Right. Yeah, and just
Yeah, go ahead.
just even getting our dogs to not respond to him, and this one dog is the only dogs my dogs ever respond to. Like I said, they're not like when the doorbell rings, you would never know we had dogs because they just respond. They're such good dogs that way. They just I can do Facebook Lives and all that stuff and not have to lock my dogs away because they just sit at my feet and they don't do anything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just say, well, that's so and so being so and so, and let's just leave it alone. And
Yeah.
and now it's not going to start. It's not going to change overnight, but just continuing the discussion and also talking to him and saying, yeah, I hear you. I don't know what you get out of banging yourself against the fence, but certainly you're still a cute dog, and I feel that you have some good energy, and I would sure like to see that side of it. I have gone as far as giving treats across the fence.
Oh, really? But, and it's sad because the person who lives there, I don't think that dog gets to go outside very much to begin with.
Oh,
All right, so
Maybe it's a cry for help.
yeah.
It may be, because then I think that I've heard her talk to her dog and I've heard her smack her dog, and that's just not me, you know, and
Right?
oh, so it could be his own unhappiness. I don't know.
I think you got onto something. There was a shepherd next to us for a while, and the parents would let the kids turn a hose on the shepherd.
Oh.
No.
And in that case, I did yell at the kids. I said, "Stop it." I said, "I don't know where your mom is, but stop."
Oh no.
And they didn't walk him. So when I would take my dogs outside to the backyard with treats, and I would give my treats to the dogs, and then I'd put a little treat through the fence to the shepherd, you know, and look him in the eye and say, "Yeah, I love you too." You know, he got rehomed. Luckily, I found out that he did get adopted because I just gave him up. But being kind to that little dog, being a little light in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he doesn't change his behavior, you get a couple points in heaven, I think, for this.
Yeah, poor
What is the
thing.
dog's name, Laura? Do you know? The neighbor's dog?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's hard to ask. I was able to ask the kids, but the parents were not. They didn't do much parenting either. So
Yeah, I don't know the neighbors, and like I said, that dog. I'm home a lot because I work from home, and that dog's just never outside. And when it is, it's just like, yeah, and it's usually late at night. And I don't know. I just renters, and they're not. Yeah, I just.
Maybe you should bang on the door and say, "I can take your dog out during the day."
So.
Do you need help getting your dog out? Because when it does, it like runs through the fence.
Yeah.
Poor thing's probably like, "Oh my God, get me out of here!"
I know that's probably what it's doing.
That's what I think. That's the sense I get, is that he's not happy.
He's like, "You look nice."
let me into your household. I want to live with you.
You've got a nice house, nice dogs. He's saying, "Save me, save me, save me."
Oh God, that's so. I do, and I always believed all my life that animals talk, and I'm so glad I got to know you, Mary Beth, over the years to confirm my suspicion that they do communicate, and they don't also feel the same feelings we do, which I think is another takeaway even from today's presentation about the teenager, the parents, and all of those things that are human. We are not exclusive to humans as much as I think humans think they are.
No, I guess I'd like to really change that whole issue about we're the superior race, and we have emotions and memories and thoughts and decisions, and not so.
Yeah, I was reading an article where you ever see the pictures of dog shaming, like the dog does something bad, and the scientists are like, "Oh, they don't feel shame," and I'm like, I disagree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They definitely, you can tell when they're upset that they've done something that they know they ought not to have, regardless of the shaming.
Yeah, they're feeding off the owner's anger, like they're scared of the anger, and I'm like, I don't think so. That's a different reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it is different. It's different. And I think that their own prejudices, they can get to have prejudices because they're scientists, but that doesn't make them smart.
No.
Cases or understanding.
Well, they look at it from their purview, right? And then,
One perspective only.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I tell you, Emma knocks over the trash, and
yeah, right.
Being a stinker.
Even Dawn, like my guinea pigs are in 2 cages, but they bump up to each other so they can see each other. Mm-hmm. And so when I clean one cage, I'll let one out, and he'll circle around the other one's cage. Don't do anything. But what Dawn likes to do is knock Ray's hay bin off, and then causes a big mess. And I call him an asshole when he does it. And now he walks, he goes up and looks for me, and then he goes, "Oh."
That is such a 2-year-old thing to do.
It is.
Like,
and then it's almost a game. It's like, isn't this funny? And then you get to call me asshole.
I am an asshole.
He's the Don. He can
He's
do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he definitely fits his name, his personality. I digress. We could talk all day about our animals. I know I could.
Absolutely.
Well, this was so much fun. I know it was an intimate crowd, but I think it was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was a great presentation. I hope you get out there and do more of them with other people so they can see your gifts.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
it too.
getting up this early, folks. I appreciate that too.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move into the announcement portion of our meeting. So this is when all of us can share an announcement about either a referral or an ask, something that you are trying to find clients for, anything, whatever it is, your announcement. So I will kick it off with Laura Shipman.
I don't really have anything other than, just listen to Katie's interview on the podcast. She's really good. She was a delight. And
are you looking for more podcast people? I know you asked me, and I need to get back. I need to send you my.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody who wants to be on a podcast with me and be interviewed and stuff, I think it's really important. I think it helps you get exposed to different communities and different people. And I've only had my podcast.
Yeah.
Everybody's right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, we'll do that. Why don't we, we'll set up times, and we can do the recording at any time. And then I usually release the podcast on a Monday morning at 5:30. And so actually I'm just going to make sure I have you'll send me the thing with everybody's email address.
It'll be in the chat box.
Okay. And then I'll just email and we'll figure out a schedule. I usually do my recordings on Fridays because that's usually an office day for me. And it's a great day for me to do it because my phone's not ringing so much.
It's not running off to a meeting.
Yeah, exactly. And then what was I going to say? So, but I've only had the podcast. It's only like 14 episodes and I just broke 208 downloads already.
Wow.
So that's good.
That's awesome, girl.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you. So, and it's on Google Play and iTunes, and then major podcast places like Stitcher and things like that. So I'm getting a lot of exposure and I'm happy about it. So yeah, so the interview thing was a great thing. So I'll connect with you ladies and we'll schedule something.
Awesome.
Great. Oh, thank you, Laura. And by the way, Laura does social media marketing. So if you guys know someone who needs social media help, maintenance, Laura is fantastic at it. I've seen her work and definitely recommend her.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So Debbie, any announcements?
I am, after my work with Mary Beth, I decided that I loved doing the coaching so much, and she's had such tremendous results with her own action, that I'm going to be offering a group coaching program, small group, intimate, no more than 10 people for 6 months. And it's, I can put a link, I guess, even in the group and just share it. Yeah. So it's just a 6 month where we'll meet, and it'll be individualized to whomever is in it. And really get people just moving forward and getting, onto podcasts and getting their marketing materials designed. And I have a designer on staff that does all that stuff. So we get lots of clarity and lots of forward momentum. So
good program. I've had the pleasure of looking at the landing page, so I can say with confidence.
Yeah.
And Mary Beth has been. I was wondering what was going on before I knew that. I see Mary Beth everywhere. I mean, I'm always been friends with her and following her, but all of a sudden I'm like, "There's Mary Beth again." There's Mary Beth again. Well, little did I know that Debbie was coaching her on her visibility, and it certainly I was noticing it.
That's great to hear.
Because we definitely want Mary Beth's gifts out there in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Debbie's done a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an understatement, but that'll suffice, I suppose.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So yeah, Debbie, feel free to put the link in our chat box if you want.
Okay.
And then Laura, we can put links in the big group that you're putting together, right? The Keep It Local group.
Yeah. So here's my thing: is I'm playing around with that Keep It Local group. I don't know if I should leave that just to members or non-members.
Oh,
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I'm not sure, but yeah, so I'm not sure how to. Right now, I just have it for members of Keep It Local. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, if we really want to expand the network, would I not just allow anyone to join it?
yeah.
I don't know. So I need to, think that through and ask the area developers and get everybody to chime in. So right now I just have it open to members, but
Well, Debbie's a member, so she could definitely post
Yeah.
that if she was,
Right.
is that allowed to promote something?
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and you have access, right? Yeah,
I do. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I plopped you in there.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Another avenue for you, Debbie.
Yes, thank you.
Mary Beth, any announcements? Anything we can help you with?
Well, Debbie has helped me put this together. I'm going to do a program called UConnect. It's a 7-week course for people to practice, to open up and practice their communication skills with their own animals.
Nice.
I've been doing it individually with people, but it's time to do a group session. So I'm going to do that. I got the first one started. First program starts June 6th in the evenings, and it's virtual. So that's happening.
That's awesome. Feel free to put the link in the chat box if you have it ready.
Yeah, I did it last night, so I got to look it up.
Well, you know where Debbie and I are, and you can friend Laura on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we do
Very
it.
good.
There you go, or LinkedIn, one or the other, or both.
All right.
She's everywhere because she's a social media girl. So she's on Snapchat and Instagram. She's definitely prolific in her social media.
Oh.
So for me, for announcements, let's see. I'm always looking for Celestial Circle members. Celestial Circle is my membership group. It is a great little group, and I want it to be a great big group. I have a goal to recruit 100 members. I have about 25 right now. So, hey, I'm getting up there.
25%.
That's it. And so this is a group for people who need help, who don't really need one-on-one coaching or don't want one-on-one coaching because of the affordability factor. So because this makes it super affordable. They get a group coaching call once a month, which we had one yesterday. It was fantastic. They get a study hall, which is, I think, one of the best features of the program. This is when we get together through Zoom and we individually work on things, but we're there together in the same space. So it's the accountability thing, like, oh, I can't get up because everybody's watching me, and so we do 2.5 hours of study hall once a month. There's a Facebook group, which I'm in, I moderate, I facilitate, I answer questions. They also get a monthly training module. The most recent one was about packages and pricing, which my members absolutely loved. They're changing their pricing and raising their prices. So I'm excited about that. And it's just a nice community of entrepreneurs who are all sort of on the same wavelength, which is, I think, so important. And all different walks of life, all different countries. Got the Europeans in there and people from Canada and people from the US. So very cool. So the celestialcircle.com is the web address. Right now it's $55 a month. The price is going up May 1st, just a little bit to $59. Eventually it'll be $99. I'm just, it's up to get there. So if you know anyone who might be a good fit for that, I would be delighted to welcome them.
Yay.
Yay. So let me put that in the chat box too. So that'll be there in perpetuity. So anything else for the good of the order? No?
Invite guests.
Invite guests, absolutely. So we meet every Wednesday. I'm thinking of it, Jets. Every Friday. I wish I could meet on Wednesdays, but I'm on the phone. Every Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. If you like the Mary Beth, you're always welcome to come back as a guest. Now that you've done a guest and a guest speaking gig, we'd love to have you back. You can come up to 3 meetings without making a commitment to join. Now, this doesn't count as a meeting for you, but because you were the guest speaker. I know. Yeah, so you got a couple more to come check out if you want to see if it's a good crowd. I know it's small, but this is, it's a new group, so we're developing and building. But it's I really feel confident it's going to take off. I have some ideas, Laura.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, that I want to share with you too. So I now have Zoom to Facebook Live capability, and I'm like, oh, the whole world is opening up for me.
Oh,
yeah. So that I got some fun ideas. So, but please invite your guests, and allow them to come check it out. I think once people see it and do it, they get the idea, they're more comfortable, and then I think it becomes more interesting then.
Right.
For some people who've never used Zoom before, they're like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you could share the word, I would really greatly appreciate it. And so that's it. That's Virtual Networkers. Yay! We did it. So I'm going to find guest speaker for next week. I thought I had one, but she needed to go following week. She had another commitment she forgot about, which is fine. It happens. So anybody who can do a guest speak? Anybody off the top of your head?
Maybe.
Yeah, let me know. Anybody? Laura,
Yeah, I will. I'll.
Someone who has a nimble schedule. I know that's my thing, is I'm always available, but
Right.
I can always do something, but I'd rather have more people, different.
And do you want it to be a mix of men and women, or just women?
Men and women's fine. Yeah, like Frank or somebody could do
I was going to say, Frank, I'm actually having lunch with him tomorrow, so.
Okay, ask him if he's available Fridays at 8.
Yeah.
But even if it's not this coming Friday, it's something in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. It was great to see everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.